record the syllabus part so that way at least they can get the syllabus information. Alrighty, so as I was saying, I am technically based out of the Fort Lupton campus. My office is at the Fort Lupton campus, so that's what that Fort Lupton Prairie FLPR stands for. It's the Prairie building on the Fort Lupton campus. But like I said, I'm actually going to be in Greeley this semester on Tuesday, Thursdays. So that's where you will find me on Tuesday, Thursdays if you needed to see me in person. You have my office number. So office hours, it says by appointment only, and I don't want you to think of it as, oh, she's not going to be available, so we'll never have a chance. It's just because when I have done like scheduled office hours, students have not shown up because, you know, that time didn't work for them, or I guess whatever other reasons there might be, they were in class or whatnot. So I have found it's just easier to get one-on-one with the students and say, hey, what time works for you? Maybe we can meet at this time. And, you know, I've actually had more students come and see me that way than when I had like set office hours and they were like, oh, that time does not work for us. I can't be there. So just know that just because it says by appointment only does not mean that I'm not available. I am available. We just need to find the time you and I are available at the same time, okay? So please keep that in mind. I'm very, very happy to meet with you on Zoom. If you do not, you know, if you're not on Greeley and you don't want to come and see me in person, that's fine. Your drop deadline will be September 9th, as you can see. So what, about 2 weeks out from today-ish? And then your withdrawal deadline, as you can see, is going to be November 6th. So those might be 2 dates you kind of want to keep in mind if, you know, that need does arise. And you will see other important links over here, guys. So just, I will let you go and play around with those for student services, academic calendar, academic policies, and all that. Let's get into our course requirements. Obviously, all of you have taken college algebra, that's math 1340. You have to have a grade of C or better. Now we are, and this is going to be something interesting because up until last year, I was using a different textbook and a different homework program. This is the first semester where we have transferred our trigonometry course from like publisher-based textbooks and paid homework platforms to free resources, you know, what we call as OER, Open Educational Resources. So we are using MyOpenMath as our homework platform, and we are using two open resource textbooks. One of them, the first one, the pre-calculus, is the primary textbook. And then I also like the second one, Algebra and Trigonometry. I think it has like good resource as a second reference textbook. So I've included both of those. You are not paying for the textbooks or the homework platform, so you're not being charged for these. And then you can use a graphing or a scientific calculator. And again, if you guys are familiar with Desmos, I would say if you do not have a physical calculator, you don't need one. You can use Desmos in this course. Alrighty, let's get into a little bit of finer definition over here, guys. So of course, we're talking trig functions. We'll talk about the graphs and then the inverse functions for the trigs. You know, identities is going to be a big part. I think, Isaac, you had mentioned this will be a study of triangles. So definitely we'll be studying triangles, you know, right triangles, acute, obtuse. So we'll be definitely going through the ringer with all the different triangles. But we also get into complex numbers, you know, with the trigonometric form, as you can see, and we'll do a little bit of discussion on polar coordinates also. If you break down the concepts, you can see the first 7 are definitely the ones that we want to look at. If we have time, then we might consider going into that last one where we're talking about vector operations and parametric equations. So that will be a time thing because that topic is not required. As you can see, it's a recommended topic. And then, you know, they break each one of those outlines further into the subtopic, so you can kind of see all of that here. Just want to let you guys know, college algebra is a guaranteed transfer course. So definitely if you get an A or a B, you know, that's a safe choice that your course will be transferred to a four-year university, or if you move to another higher education institution. C grade kind of depends on the institution and the program. So, I will let you guys figure that part out depending on what program you are going to. But A, B, and C usually are grades that transfer. But again, like I said, some programs or some institutions can be picky on that. So that's kind of what this GT pathway thingy talks about. And I'm not spending time talking about that. You guys can read through that if you wanted to. And again, these are some of the requirements by AIMS that we have to include in our syllabus. So you can see we're talking about what AIMS has set up as their learning outcomes. After COVID happened, you can imagine we have to be prepared for any situation where, the modality of the course may need to change. I mean, we're already remote, so I'm not sure what more we can do to accommodate, unexpected events, but that's kind of what this little communication about closures is talking about. Student code of conduct obviously is something very important for all of us to be aware of. But let's get into and again, reuse of instruction materials, you can kind of read through that. But let's get into our specific course requirements here. So since we are a remote course, we are meeting twice a week on Zoom. We treat this the same way as we would treat, if we were in a face-to-face class on campus. So you are expected to be in attendance every time the class meets. If for some reason you are unable to attend, let me know what's going on, why you're unable to attend. Like I said, since we are doing this as a Zoom classroom, I will be recording our lectures. So if you were to miss a class, you would have access to the recording so you could go back and, basically see what we talked about, what happened in class. And also you can get in touch with a classmate and say, hey, so I did see the video, but, can you kind of walk me through what happened in class? And then, of course, you can reach out to me. But yeah, I do expect your attendance to be 100%, minimum of 90%, anything below 90%, and you are unable to take any of the exams. So you want to make sure you are maintaining a 90% attendance. Otherwise, you will not be able to take exams, okay? So that is something I do want you to keep in mind. And I actually give you points for each day of attendance. You get 1 point for full attendance. If you're late or if you have to leave early, then you get partial points. Of course, if you miss class, you get no points. So that's kind of how I keep track of, do you have 90% attendance or not based on how long you were in class with me. And you can see in that little paragraph there, I'm talking about if your attendance falls below 90%, you will not be able to take the exams. Rules for the Zoom classroom is your video should be turned on. I should be able to see your face. I don't want you to be in a dark room where I cannot see you, or, camera pointing at the roof, window, carpet, whatever, floor. Because again, the idea is, and right now also I have your little video screen open so I can look at your faces, because, otherwise I'm just talking to basically my screen. So yeah, keep in mind that I do need your cameras to be on. We are kind of a morning-ish class, so if you fall asleep on me, I am kicking you out of the Zoom classroom. So do not fall asleep. Do not lie down, because lying down is usually the culprit that leads us to falling asleep. I do not want you driving and trying to attend class, because let's be honest, I don't want you to get hurt or somebody else to get hurt. So if you are, coming from somewhere and you're running late, just shoot me a quick email saying, hey, I'm driving right now. I'll be there in class. This is what's going on, but I don't want you to do something dangerous, like, try to be on Zoom as you're driving, because your safety is more important than, being in class, at least for that moment. And again, I've had students who were at work trying to attend class on Zoom, which is again unacceptable, because you're either ignoring your work and you're definitely ignoring the class. So you cannot really be trying to do two things at once. So again, please make sure you are paying attention, because any of that happens and I notice you're distracted or you've fallen asleep or you're at work or you're driving, I will kick you out of the Zoom session. So please keep that in mind. I do try to reply back within 24 hours, especially during the weekdays. So if you do have questions for me, try to get those out to me in the weekday. Weekend, sometimes I check my emails, but I'll be honest, most of the time I don't. And so weekdays would be definitely a better time to get in touch with me. Your grading background breakdown, as you can see for homework, and I say other assignments, if I wanted to include like something which is out of my open math, maybe I put an assignment in D2L or something, which would technically still count as homework, but just to kind of separate it from the homework in my open math, I'm calling it other assignments. So all of those together would form 40% of your grade. Your chapter exams are 40% of your grade, and then the final exam by itself is 20%. So you can see that adds up to 100%. And then you can see the grading scale over here. It's the standard grading scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 would be D, and then anything below 60 would not be passing. So there are video lectures in D2L, but as I said, we're kind of transitioning from the old textbooks that we were using into the newer one. So technically you can still use those video lectures. The homework problems might look a little bit different, and the text will look a little bit different, but that's the beauty of math, right? The concept does not change if you change textbooks. We're still teaching the same concepts, the same material, it just maybe looks a little different. As I already talked about it, we are using My Open Math to do the homework assignments, the exams, and the final exam in. You do actually also have a 90% requirement on your homework section. So you have to get a minimum of 90% grade on your homework before you can access the chapter exam, the exam for that section, chapter, whatever we're working on. So you have basically two requirements to be eligible to take an exam. So you have to do 90% attendance grade and 90% homework grade. So if you meet both of those requirements, then you will be able to take the chapter exam. If you're doing 90%, you're probably 1 or 1.5 problem away from getting 100%. So I would say go for that, because the maximum points you can get, the higher that overall grade goes, right? But just keep those requirements in mind. Like I said, other assignments can look like discussions or projects that may be based in D2L. I don't have anything yet, but when I do put something in, obviously I'll let you guys know. Your chapter exams, like I just talked about, your chapter exams are going to be based on homework. So as long as you do your homework, you're not going to see any surprise question on the exam. They're going to be based from the same questions that are on homework that I create my exams from. So just please make sure you have 90% on your attendance grade and 90% on all the sections for that chapter. Since we are a remote class, we will actually be doing exams on Zoom, kind of like you are here right now, except on the day of the exam, all of you would be working on the exam. So the only thing I ask is, be in a quieter space, be alone, so that way you don't get distracted, because you have 1 hour, 15 minutes to take an exam, right? You don't want to be distracted. You don't want to be running around doing something else, because that means you are losing time towards your exam. So I would definitely say, if you can, try and isolate yourself so you can focus on the exam. And, once you're done with that, then of course you can go back to what you need to do. The final exam will be obviously in the last week of class. Again, you can use calculators on all the exams. You can have, scratch paper, writing instruments, whatever you need. If you are allowed notes, I will let you know. It may change from chapter to chapter depending on what topic we are discussing. So right now it says no notes, no books, nothing. But like I said, it will just depend on the chapter we are on, what topic we're working on, and then we can talk about if you will be allowed like a note card or something with information on it. Same thing applies. Make sure your attendance is 90%. Your homework grade is 90% to be able to take the final exam. All the exams will be password protected. So, if you do not come to class that day on Zoom, you will not get the exam password. So if you come to class, you get the exam password. Now, the only other caveat to that would be, if you decide to take your exam at the testing center, through Ames, then I will send the password to the person who will be administering the test to you, and they'll give you the password when you are in there. And that will be something if, you have accommodations through our DAS office, the Disability Access Services office. So if you have accommodations through them, that is when you would be going through. Or, again, there can be circumstances that arise that would be kind of hard for me to talk about right now. Because, if something came up and you were unable to take the exam that day, this would be something you would have to inform me ahead of time, not like, you missed the exam and then you come back and say, I need to retake the exam. It won't happen. You have to let me know in advance what's going on, if you will not be able to take the exam with me on Zoom. And that's when we set it up through the testing center. So obviously you can imagine that's a conversation I will have to have individually. So if I don't hear from anybody, I am assuming you are coming to the Zoom session to take your exam, with me, essentially. Calculators on a cell phone, a smart device, tablet will not be allowed. Like I said, you can use Desmos, and I may actually have to set that up in my settings to allow you to use Desmos, so that you're not going outside of the program to use it. And I think I know how to do that. But handheld scientific and graphing calculators are allowed, nothing else on a smart device, okay? Again, same exam dates that I showed you in the course schedule in D2L, and then your course schedule is also down here. So your exam dates, course schedule is also available in your syllabus. As you can imagine, with all the new technology coming in, and especially with AI, the college takes a pretty serious, stand on plagiarism or any form of integrity or not integrity, which would affect, students' performance in class. So you can see there's a whole section on academic honesty, what is expected of you, what is considered as plagiarism, or dual submission. As you can see that we're talking about collaboration, and what happens if, there's a possibility that academic dishonesty had been considered. Basically, it's a zero tolerance here, guys. So you get stuck, you need help, I will be more than happy to help you. I will be happy to walk you through an example. But if you decide to not come to me and you just decide to take the matters in your own hand and you do something which is obviously not acceptable, then that's when consequences are bad. And usually that means getting a 0 on the assignment to failing the course. And then depending on, how many times it has happened, the college may decide to take further action than what just me individually takes. So don't do that. Come to me. I mean, if you're not comfortable talking to me, then obviously, we have a problem. But if you don't want to talk in person, like, face to face on Zoom or on a phone call, at least shoot me an email. At least let me know what's going on so we can at least figure out a solution to, whatever the concern might be. We have tutors available on campus, make use of those, and then you can use each other as resources. And I know it's kind of hard to form a community when everybody is separate, in their own space. We're not in like a cohesive, classroom to be there. But again, technology, right? We can use each other's help, even if we are, not physically in the same space. So please, ask for help when you need it instead of suffering alone and then, getting desperate and doing something which may not be the best thing to do. And then the last part you can see here, guys, helpful hints. Again, just mostly common sense stuff, right? Come to class, attend, because the more you attend class, the more you're going to get out of it, the more information you will have on hand. Keep up with your homework. And I think I say this every time. So especially somebody who's been physically in class with will know I always say this: do your homework the day we talk about that material in class, because it's fresh in your head. You will be able to get the homework done a lot quicker, instead of if you come back like 2-3 days later and you're like, oh, what was that problem? What did we talk about? Luckily, you will have the video recordings to look at. So if you do get stuck and you can be like, oh, let me go back and see, how we did that example. How did we go over it? And what am I supposed to do? Do not fall behind. There is this joke between the full-time English professor on the Fort Lupton campus and myself, because I've had students come and tell me, oh, I had to write an English paper, so that's why I didn't do your math homework. And I would go and yell at him. I was like, why are you giving students papers when it's my exam? And he's like, because they're taking my class. So there's this kind of fun rivalry between him and I, because, I keep telling him my students are not doing the work because they're busy working on your paper. So time management, right? And so I know it can be hard with everything else we have going on, right? We do have life outside of college trigonometry course, but you still have to balance your time. So do not fall behind. If you don't understand anything, ask questions. Participation in class is probably going to be a big key, because that tells me how much you are understanding and not understanding. So if you ask me questions in class and I know, okay, so you are on the right path, you understood what we were working on, or that can tell me, oh, you're still confused, maybe we need another example, or maybe we need to go over this again. Again, guys, we do not have room for a lot of makeup work and redoing assignments. So if you miss an exam or if you miss an assignment and you don't turn it in, you will end up getting a 0 on that. Because like I said, we do not have room to go back and make up older assignments. So at your best ability, please try not to miss any assignments if you can, because you will not be able to redo them. That means you will end up getting a 0 on those. If for any reason you are unhappy with me or with a classmate or for any other reason, find a way to talk to me. Like I said, email if you think that would be the best way to talk. If you want to do a phone call, if you want to do a Zoom session, if you are completely unsure of how I will react, then I would say, yes, go to my chair, talk to him. But find a way to communicate instead of having, a big blowout or getting upset or getting frustrated, because that can always lead to consequences we really don't want to, have to worry about. I guess some of this stuff doesn't really apply to us because we're in a remote class. You can eat and drink, you're at your desk at your home. Do not fall asleep on me. Like I said, I will kick you out. And I also need your videos to stay on the whole time, which I'm just realizing Anna and Braden, you guys are off. I will try to let you out on time. I will try not to keep you here too long, but it's math. Every now and then I may have an example we're working on and I may keep you a minute or two extra, but I will try my best not to. And then again, just do not get tempted by, trying to use technology or resources to form any kind of academic, plagiarism or anything like that. All right, guys, so that is your course syllabus. I know I've kind of skimmed over it because I do have other things I wanted to talk about, but please look over it. If you have any questions about it, do not hesitate to reach out. All of that is under course information. Then you will see the next module under that is the My Open Math, or MOM for its short form. The first part of it talks about how to enroll in My Open Math. I think what I'm actually going to do is have you guys go into D2L and kind of follow along. So that way I can see if everybody's able to get into My Open Math. If you've already done that, that'd be awesome. So the first link is just steps on how to enroll. So you can click on that link and it will take you to My Open Math. And basically you can kind of see it walks you through the steps. It's been a couple years since I made this document, so I will apologize if the interface looks a little bit different. But the key thing you need is the course ID here and the enrollment key. If you have used My Open Math in the past, then you don't need to create a new account, obviously. You just go add a new course using that course ID and the enrollment key. If you are a new student to My Open Math, then of course you'll need to go through that whole sign up process. Also, please make sure you are using your ames.edu email address when you sign up for a new account. Because of FERPA regulations, we cannot communicate with you on your personal email addresses. So even if your email address says, your first name, last name at, whatever Gmail or whatever you're using, we still cannot communicate with you. So to be safe, use your @ames.edu email address. So that way, I am safe, you are safe, and we can communicate. So I am actually going to jump into My Open Math, and let me see if I can get into. So I'm seeing 7 new emails, which that is my notification to let me know students have enrolled. Your student mode will look, I think, something like this. Okay, I'm seeing 8 students in there, so that is nice. Let me go under the grade book and take a look here. So I'm seeing Jeff, and I apologize. Looks like Andrew, your grade is visible. I apologize for that, but you know what? It's the first day of class. I'm not going to be showing this to you anytime else. I'm seeing 9 of you in there. Let me see if I can go through roster without showing you. There we go. So I've got Jeff, Braden, Josh, Mav, Andrew, Kara, who is not in class actually right now, are they? Kara? No, Kara, you are here. Sorry, my apologies. Mickey, Marquise, and Logan are who I see now. All right, while you guys are enrolling in that, somebody else just came in. So as you will go through, you will see, again, I've kind of put a welcome to the trick course at the top. We'll actually do the review assignment on Wednesday because we don't have time to work on it right now. So I'll change the date on that. If you guys can go ahead and do the student information survey before our class on Wednesday, that'd be great. This is just me gathering some information on you. You will see that I have included our Zoom classroom link and office link, office hours link in here as well. You have access to the textbook. Mav, if that's going to be a regular every time thing, then yeah, we may have to talk about that time difference. Let's see. Your textbook for pre-calculus is right there as a link. And then I've actually included the reference textbook, the second one that I was talking about that I really like. So that's that second one here. And then I've actually also included the link to our college algebra textbook, which is also free for you to access. Like I said, if you needed to refresh some of your concepts, you can do that. I've also included links to the Desmos scientific and graphing calculators and the GeoGebra as well. And then I have included our mathematics tutoring times for this semester in there also. So you will see all of that under the first block. Then you will see the second one with course information has your course syllabus. And I've put some of the things from our course syllabus here. So again, you didn't have to go into the PDF file. You can kind of see some of those policies that I just talked about. So all of those dates and stuff are here. Now, what you can do is, because you don't need to see this every time, you can actually collapse these little blocks. So that way, you're not having to go through that whole list of options every time. And then you can just jump to where you will find your homework, exams, and stuff like that. So you will see I have links to the textbook in here. Yeah, Mav, yeah, because that would be about 9 minutes of class time that you would be missing, and I'd hate for you to miss the last part of class. So yeah, if we could keep you here till 11, I would appreciate that. But again, we can talk about it if there's going to be a concern and you wouldn't be able to do that. So right now, only one homework is open because again, like I said, this is a new textbook I'm using.
Well,
I believe she is gone. Nice.
yeah, she'll be back in a minute, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a mistake.
Yo, Logan, did you go to Union Colony?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I recognized you. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Just some brain issues. It's great.
Yay, brain issues. Who doesn't want those?
I clicked mute right before I died of laughter. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, while we wait, I'm just gonna go grab my guitar and play. Bye.
That's fair. I'm just reading ahead in the book.
All right, are you guys still there?
Hi.
Hello. So my laptop just completely hung up on me. I have no idea what's going on. It has enough charge, so I know it didn't die on me. But
Try holding the power button for like 30 seconds with it unplugged and then plug it back in.
okay, because it didn't respond to that when I was trying to do Control Alt Delete to restart but I will try with the power button. Anyway, guys, what I was saying was right now you're only seeing one homework assignment in my open math, but you will have more that I'll open up. I just wanted you guys to have something to kind of look at and work through, on our first day of class. So what I would like you guys to do is get that student information survey completed. And just play around with the program a little bit, just so to make sure you are kind of understanding how to put your answers in and stuff, you do have that first homework assignment open for you. And then, of course, I would say make sure you are looking through the syllabus and all the other information that's available in D2L. So that way, you at least know what to expect from this class. And then we'll formally, officially, obviously start lecturing on Wednesday. So do not worry about the review assignment you're seeing in my open math right now, because that is something I want us to do as a class and not individually. So we'll work on that on Wednesday. And then once we're done with that, we'll get into our first chapter. So I will hang around for a couple minutes, see if you guys have any questions. Mav, we can talk on email if you like. I know you have to go, so please go ahead and leave, but we can talk on email about that time difference you were mentioning. And then again, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday morning. So good luck, everyone. Have a beautiful day. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Give me a second. I'm having trouble leaving. I don't know what's going on.
I think it looks like a little X, kind of red X with an exit door.
Got it. Bye.
Bye-bye.